Hey, good people, what's happening? David Taub here from nextlevelguitar.com. Thought we'd do a little beginner lesson today, and I want you to start expanding your chord vocabulary more. Now, you probably have learned your first batch of open position chords. You know, that's the chords that everybody starts with, whether you play acoustic or electric. And I'm going to play acoustic today, but you could do this on electric. It doesn't matter. So the next thing you want to start to learn is probably some seventh chords or dominant seventh chords. We're going to be doing these in the open position. With acoustic guitar, you know, fretted notes sound different than notes played with open strings, right? And with the acoustic, because of the style of music and the body of the acoustic, you really want to use a lot of open strings. A basic major chord is a root, a third, and a fifth. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take that root, third, and fifth and add another note to it, the flat seventh or the dominant seventh. The seventh chords have this more of a twangy and bluesy sound to them, color to them. There's a C seventh or like a G seventh. Really develop that ear. One of the most important things you could do as a musician is develop your ear. See, these seventh chords have that twanginess to them and bluesiness to them, and they're used throughout many musical genres. You'll see these seventh chords, although predominantly you see them a lot in like jazz and blues and country, but you'll see them in everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn some seventh chords, and then I'm going to give you some progressions to practice them with. So here's an A7 chord. It's kind of like, you know, you can play it a couple different ways. If you take your standard A major chord, you probably know, and just remove your second finger, that becomes an A7. You can also play it with your first and second fingers. B7 is probably the harder one to finger. Okay, there's a good look at your B7. Make sure you get on your fingertips, wrist down, so you don't hear any dead notes and you're not playing that low E string. C7 is like your C major chord, except you add your pinky to the G string at the third fret, and there's a C7. D7, open D string, you're not playing the low E or the A, you want to mute those out, and here's your D7. E7, if you take like an E major chord and then just remove your third finger. There's a lot of different ways you could play an E7, but this is kind of the easiest one. So just remove that third finger, and you're playing all 6 strings. There you have your E7. And G7 is played like this. So G7, there's a good look at that. Let's take a few progressions and we'll insert some seventh chords. Like we could take a standard like 1-6-2-5 progression, and if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. You will eventually, we'll get to it. Let's play something like G major, open, to an E minor, to an A minor, to a D7. In the key of G major. So, and let's use some easy strums so you can kind of just really concentrate on adding these seventh chords. Like for this progression, let's just use like down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Kind of like an eighth note feel. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2, 3 and 4 and down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. 2 measures on each chord, nice and slow. Remember, strum slow as necessary to make the changes. You know, a lot of students when they're first starting and learning, the first thing they start to do is they start a strum, and then all of a sudden they're off to the races and they're strumming so fast. But remember, the faster you're strumming, the faster you're going to have to make these changes. So really slow at first. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. Very good. You hear that twangy movement when we we go to that D7th. Now remember, when you're going from that A minor chord to that D7th, you have a shared finger. You don't have to move that first finger. Leave it down on that first fret, on that B string, on that C note. A minor, D7th. If you're having trouble with any one of these changes, just practice the change, the mechanics of the change back and forth. A minor, D7th, A minor, D7, just go back and forth. So much of this is just getting that muscle memory down. So that's a progression that you want to practice. Let's add some tension, some more tension of the 7th chord, and instead of going to the E minor, let's go to that E7th chord for the 2nd chord. So now the change is G, E7th, be a little bit more dramatic, to the A minor, to the D7th. And let's try that. Maybe this time let's use a different strum pattern. You could use the same one. Let's use this pattern, maybe down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Again, another 8th note pattern, 8th note feel. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good, very good. Okay, so there's a couple of progressions to practice where we're adding, the first one we added a D7th, and now we're adding an E7th, where you could work these 7th chords into your progressions and add another element to your playing. Let's do that same kind of 1, 6, 2, 5 kind of feel, but let's change the key to C major, just for practice. Now this is going to be, the fingering is going to be a little harder, so this will be a little more of a challenge, you know, so get the first ones down first, in G major, then go here, you know. First learn run, then learn fly, Danielson, you know. So the chords we're going to use now, C major, then we'll take that to an A minor, to a D minor, and then a G7th. And maybe if you don't have the strum down yet, maybe try it just with like a quarter note strum. 1, 2, 3, 4, all downstrokes. Maybe we'll do that first. Let's do that first, because this one might be a little harder actually. So we're just going 1, 2, 3, 4, change, 2, 2, 3, 4, change, quarter notes. So you have C major, A minor, D minor, G7, good. So get that down first, and then let's try that 8th note strum. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Same progression. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are just a few to get you launched off, and learn those dominant 7th chords or 7th chords. And as you can see in the text, you'll always know the 7th chords because it's always written out by the chord letter and then a 7, a big number 7 right next to it. And that's how you know these dominant 7th chords: root, 3rd, 5th, flat 7th. Very, very important chords in music, very twangy, bluesy sounding. So learn those and practice those progressions. And this is just kind of like an intro to get you introduced into them, and try them with various strum patterns. Go to 1 measure per chord, or go down, down, up, change, down, up, change, down, down. You know, maybe half a measure per chord, and, you know, work those into your arsenal. It's so important as a guitar player to have a big vocabulary of chords, and these 7th chords are very important. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson, and we will see you next time. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rock on Good People, and go to our website, www.nextlevelguitar.com. We have over, you know, what is it now, like 500 video lessons, written lessons, jam tracks for all levels of guitar players. It's very comprehensive, and we'll see you soon. Take care and rock on.